can't stand Ice Cube.
That's crazy.
I'm not a fan of him lyrically or acting wise.
Who's this?
Aries Spears.
Oh, that dude?
Yeah. He said nothing
Is
that
he a comedian?
Yeah.
Because he ain't never made me laugh, so.
You really know you crossed the line when Ice Cube, yeah, the same man who dropped no Vaseline like a nuclear bomb, pauses his billionaire grind just to drag your name through the mud. But Aries Spears didn't just throw a little jab. Oh no, he came swinging for the whole throne. On Big Boy's Neighborhood, he didn't hold back one bit, clowning Cube's acting, his music, even his entire legacy like it was nothing. Spears flat out called Cube trash as a rapper and as an actor. And trust me, Ice Cube heard every single word. Cube fired right back, calling Aries irrelevant, not funny, and not even a whisper on the radar of black comedy's top 10. And just when you thought the smoke might clear, guess who slid into the mix? 50 Cent. Because if there's one thing 50 can't resist, it's clowning someone who's already slipping.
Ice Cube is a motherfucking lyricist.
I can't stand Ice Cube.
That's crazy.
I'm not a fan of him lyrically or acting wise.
Really?
He's the same.
How much time we got left here? Because should I just tell him to leave?
He saw that clip and couldn't help himself. He poured gasoline all over the mess and lit a match with a smirk. And it all started so simple. Big Boy was just kicking it with some regular barbershop talk, ranking rappers, swapping names, the usual back and forth. Then Aries Spears did what Aries Spears always does. He went completely rogue, no filter, no chill. The second Ice Cube's name came up, Aries didn't blink, didn't hesitate. He just unloaded like he had been waiting for this moment his whole life. Even Big Boy's own co-host tried to smooth it over, crack a joke, and pivot the conversation. But Aries Spears, he doubled down like he was on a mission to torch every bridge in sight. He launched into this weird, awkward impersonation of Ice Cube as a gynecologist, and it ended with a line so uncomfortable, the whole room froze. The table went silent. Big Boy's face said it all. Aries laughed at his own joke, but nobody else even cracked a smile.
You don't think that...
One of the songs I hate the most, if it comes on, I want to shoot the radio. Today was a good day.
It wasn't funny, it was cringy. But apparently mocking Cube once just wasn't enough for Aries. He wanted to push it further, to go even deeper into the disrespect. This wasn't just shade. This was Aries Spears completely crossing the line. You could see the vibe shift. The co-hosts weren't laughing, they were staring. Big Boy tried, he really tried, to steer the ship back to safety, but Aries, he just kept pressing the gas. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, he took a shot at Tupac. Yeah, Tupac. The legend. He didn't just throw a few slick words. He flat out disrespected the entire West Coast. That's how you end up blackballed, straight up.
What he said?
What'd he say?
He said it was nothing about you impresses him. From movies to rapping, nothing at all impresses him. And I'm like, wow, like what?
Suckers usually don't like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, the people that, you know, they usually don't like me when they coming from that angle. That's cool though.
And the wildest part, Aries knew exactly what he was doing. The backlash came immediately. Fans weren't having it, not one bit. One comment popped off saying, I love Aries' skills, but bro, the Ice Cube slander is a no-no. Another fan chimed in, and this is why Aries ain't credible. To say Pac or Cube wasn't lyrical, man, he's just salty. New York mad because the West Coast snatched the crown in the 80s and 90s. But what Aries clearly didn't see coming was the actual legends he dissed stepping in to clap back. Normally in this industry, big names don't waste their time responding to someone they see as irrelevant. They ignore it, let the nobody talk, and keep it moving. But this time, oh no, this was different. Ice Cube himself came through like a boss and responded with precision.
Everybody got their opinion, and they all stink, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's cool, you know, he entitled to his opinion. It's the feeling is mutual. You know, I don't think he on anybody's list of top 10 comedians, you know what I mean, in the black community for sure. I don't even know if he's on the register.
He questioned Aries' entire existence in the comedy world, asking straight up if he was even funny, even relevant, even real. Cube knew exactly how to slice him down without breaking a sweat. And let's be honest, Cube is no rookie at this. He's true to this. From penning classics for NWA to dropping one of the top 3 diss tracks in history, to writing Friday, to producing, to launching the Big 3 League, Ice Cube is a mogul with receipts stacked sky high. But here's the wildest twist. That clip wasn't the end. Not even close. Because Aries, he wasn't backing down, even after legends clowned him publicly. Even after fans roasted him all over social media, he still popped up on Vlad TV, doubling down. Apparently, clowning Ice Cube once just wasn't enough for Aries Spears. He had to keep poking the bear.
He goes, here's Ice Cube as a gynecologist. Hey, Miss Jenkins, I looked at your chart. Now get up on that thing.
That's racist. I don't know how it's racist, but what you just did is racist.
But here's the thing Aries didn't realize. This wasn't just about Ice Cube anymore. Somewhere in a luxury hotel suite, probably chilling with his phone in hand, was 50 Cent, watching all this drama unfold in real time. And why was 50 tuned in? Because Aries had already let a few slick comments fly about him too. So just when folks thought 50 would stay quiet, maybe brush it off and keep stacking his checks, boom, he dropped a video. It was short, slick, and so passive-aggressive that fans instantly knew exactly who it was aimed at. No names needed. 50 just called someone delusional without even breaking a sweat. But wait, why did 50 even bother getting involved? Let's be real, the man stays busy. He's out here producing Power, BMF, stacking liquor money, closing TV deals, and still finding time to tour. He doesn't just jump in every little beef. So what made this particular clapback land on his Instagram timeline? Here's what a lot of people forget. 50 Cent and Ice Cube have history.
He was energy. He was passion. He made you feel him. If that said tear the club up, you wanted to tear the club up. Dear mama, you wanted to hug your mama. When you think about lyricism, Nas, Jay-Z, Biggie, Jadakiss, my lyrics spit it.
They've got a solid mutual respect that runs deep. Cube co-signed 50's movie Moves Back when most of Hollywood didn't even take him seriously. And in interviews, 50 has always given Cube his flowers, showing love for what Cube built both in music and film. Aries Spears is exactly the kind of comic 50 Cent can't stand. Loud, abrasive, always running his mouth, but with nothing recent to back it up. That's the perfect type of target for 50 to roast, and he didn't miss the chance. He came through locked and loaded, dropping slick lines like, "Check my temperature, I'm ice cold. The hood left the left side of my chest froze. Need help with your bills? I'll write you a referral, might even get you a love contract." Pure 50, chilly, petty, and straight to the point. And just like that, Aries started feeling the heat. You could tell it got under his skin because he went off on an emotional rant aimed right back at Ice Cube. But here's the thing, he didn't stop there. He was still salty about what Cube said about him being irrelevant.
For the world's biggest hater. If you look up the word hate, it's my picture. When did we get to a point where unless your opinion, and last time I checked as human beings, we're all allowed to opinions.
And instead of letting it go, he just kept digging himself deeper. And this is where it got messy, because Aries completely folded his own argument in the dumbest way possible. In one breath, he said he respected Ice Cube as a man. But then seconds later, he turned around and claimed Cube had never done anything impressive, ever. That's not just an opinion, that's a straight up contradiction. And the internet did not let that slide. People started dragging him instantly, not for simply having an opinion, but for flip-flopping and then trying to play the victim when the smoke came back his way. Comments lit up social media like you can't drop a hot take and then cry when someone matches your energy. Another fan said, "You can have your opinion, but after that skit, gee, you not valid." Ice Cube is a made man. And just when everyone thought Aries might finally chill out, nope, he popped back up again, this time on another podcast, still running his mouth like nothing happened. He tried to clarify his words, but ended up making it even worse.
Now, when people talk about, you ask anybody, no matter where their region, give me a top 5 rappers. Pac's usually always in that list, right? I don't ever put Pac up there with the top rapper.
He claimed people were twisting his message, saying he wasn't really disrespecting Ice Cube or Tupac, but the receipts didn't lie. Clips were all over social media and fans weren't buying the damage control. Meanwhile, Ice Cube stayed cool as ever. No long essays, no drawn-out responses, just a subtle post reminding everyone why his name carries weight. Cube didn't even have to say Aries' name anymore. His legacy speaks for itself. The man's a rapper, actor, writer, producer, and a mogul who doesn't need to argue with someone grasping for relevance. But 50? Oh, he wasn't done clowning. He jumped back in with another jab saying, "Some people talk just to hear themselves, but the rest of us still don't care. Fans went wild in the comments, tagging Aries and laughing like it was open season. And of course, the memes flooded in. Aries' face photoshopped into Friday scenes, people calling him the comedian nobody asked for, and even side-by-side stats showing Cube's decades of accomplishments versus Aries.
At what point does it get to where, unless your opinion is favorable about a person or a thing and goes with the flow of everyone else, you're a hater? I don't understand that.
Well, not much. By now, Aries Spears' career was feeling the aftershocks. Clubs that once booked him quietly started pulling back. Nobody wanted the extra drama walking into their venue. Rumors started flying that certain promoters were hesitant to put his name on flyers, worried about the backlash. And in Hollywood, forget it. Producers aren't lining up to work with someone who's beefing with legends and making himself look like a walking contradiction. Meanwhile, Ice Cube's stock didn't move an inch. If anything, it went up. Fans were flooding his comments with support, calling him a pioneer, a made man, and reminding Aries why Cube's name is cemented in hip-hop history forever. Even younger rappers were posting stories showing love to Cube, proving his respect stretches across generations. And 50, he stayed on Aries' neck. He reposted a meme of Aries with the caption, "Be careful who you play with, some of us still play rough." It went viral instantly.
I'm just watching. Music, all of it.
Movies, all of it.
Yeah. I never really seen Ice Cube in films that weren't his. You know, like he kind of produced the vehicle that he was in. And it wasn't like he was just being an actor in someone else's film.
That's the thing about 50. He doesn't just diss you, he makes sure everyone else joins in the laugh. But here's the worst part for Aries. Fans stopped even debating his points. They weren't talking about whether Cube was lyrical or not, or if Tupac was overrated. Nope. The whole conversation shifted to how Aries handled himself. Messy, defensive, and just plain corny. When you lose the crowd and the culture, that's when you know you're cooked. But this one cut deep because it reminded Aries of the one thing he really couldn't shake, his dark past. Suddenly, this wasn't just petty beef anymore. People started bringing up the Tiffany Haddish lawsuit. Remember back in 2022? Aries Spears and Tiffany were slapped with a disturbing lawsuit involving allegations of grooming.
Somebody sent me a clip where Ice Cube responded. He was on a radio show and the dude played him the snippet. And the first thing Ice Cube says is, well, most suckers don't like me. Then he goes on to say, I never heard of this dude. Then he finishes by saying, well, he's just not funny. Well, you can't have it both ways. If you don't know who I am, how do you know if I'm funny or not? So you can't have it both ways.
The controversy came from a so-called comedy skit where a child was left alone with a creepy adult character played by Aries, and the camera focused on him in ways that had everyone feeling straight up uncomfortable. The backlash was instant. Twitter went up in flames, hashtags started trending, and even the Shade Room posted the footage. And let's be real, it looked bad, real bad. Even though the case was later settled and the video scrubbed from the internet, the stain on Aries' name never fully washed off. It stuck to him like glue, a permanent mark on his reputation. And what did Aries do after all that? Instead of laying low, he popped right back up on Vlad TV again. Fans started noticing a pattern. Aries Spears was showing up on Vlad more than Vlad himself, always talking about being blackballed, ranting about how he should be as big as Kevin Hart.
Satisfied. Why? Because some other will come along that'll take and blow the world up, and you'll want to be that. And then some other will come around and have as talented as you, or possibly more, and then you're going to get upset because again, you focus on everything that is not you.
Hold up.
Everything you want,
wait a minute,
but not what's in your present space.
But here's the thing. He was talking way more than he was actually working. Meanwhile, his name wasn't being linked to comedy specials, TV shows, or anything positive. It only came up when there was drama, scandals, bitter sound bites. That's all Aries Spears was trending for. He wasn't going viral for his stand-up anymore, wasn't booking big roles, wasn't headlining anything serious. The only time his name hit the blogs was for dissing legends, starting messy beefs, or dragging up old trauma just to see if anyone still cared. But that's not even the whole story. In the industry, Aries has a reputation. Multiple former castmates have gone on record saying he was difficult to work with, had a huge ego, and was always trying to one-up everyone in the room. And that energy, it burns bridges fast. Sure, Aries is talented. No one denies that. He can nail impressions. He can crowd work a room like a pro.
And for the record, I respect Ice Cube, the man. I respect Ice Cube in terms of what he's brought to the game. He's one of the pioneers. So hats off to him for that.
But here's the harsh truth. He never got his Chappelle moment. He never hit that next level where your name becomes untouchable. And that kind of resentment, it eats at you over time. Now flip it for a second. Why did this beef flop so hard for Aries? Simple, because when you come for Ice Cube, you're coming for a pillar of culture. And you don't win that fight. Let's break it down. No Vaseline isn't just a diss track. It's consistently ranked as one of the top 3 diss records of all time, period. Friday, that's a legendary franchise that redefined black comedy, created iconic characters, and became a rite of passage in hip-hop culture. And the Big 3 League, that's a whole professional basketball league cube built from scratch, now backed by major investors and actual NBA legends. And when the dust settled, the scoreboard was clear. Aries Spears lost this one badly.
I wasn't a fan of his artistry. I never attacked him as a man. I never attacked him in terms of his character. I said I wasn't a fan of his artistry. Why am I not allowed to feel that way? Why is that? And then secondly, it's always funny. People call me a hater because they love to highlight when I say I don't like something, as though I don't have love for anything.
His name was left floating in blogs and comment sections as the guy who tried to punch up at legends and got folded in the process. Meanwhile, Ice Cube didn't even break a sweat. He stayed solid, untouchable, with his legacy only looking stronger after the smoke cleared. And 50, he walked away laughing, dropping one-liners and memes that had the whole internet in stitches. Aries ended up exactly where he didn't want to be, seen as bitter, messy, and desperate for attention. Fans stopped arguing with him, stopped defending him, and just labeled him what he feared most, irrelevant. And the industry, it took notice. When producers and promoters see your name tied more to drama than actual work, the calls start drying up quick. Cube's still a mogul. 50's still a boss. And Aries? He's still on Vlad TV ranting about being blackballed, replaying the same tired narrative, hoping somebody, anybody, will still listen. But here's the cold truth. Respect isn't something you demand, it's something you earn. And once the culture decides you're not worth it anymore, that's it. No comeback special, no second win, just silence. So what's the final lesson here? Simple. Know who you're coming for. Aries Spears thought he could stir the pot and come out on top, but instead he reminded everyone why his name doesn't carry the same weight anymore. He went after Ice Cube, a man who built lanes in music, film, and culture. He caught smoke from 50 Cent, a master of trolling who never misses, and he dug up his own skeletons in the process, reopening wounds the public hadn't forgotten. Because let's be real, Cube isn't just another rapper or actor, he's history. He's the voice of NWA, the mastermind behind Friday, the founder of the Big 3 League. He's a made man. You don't erase that with a few weak jokes on a radio show. And 50, he's the last guy you want to poke because he'll clown you in a way that sticks forever. Meanwhile, Aries is still spinning his wheels, showing up on interviews talking more than he's working, locked in a cycle of bitterness, while the legends he dissed keep winning. The culture's spoken, and it's loud. No one's lining up to save him. No one's rushing to defend him. And at this point, the only thing keeping his name alive is the very drama that buried his reputation in the first place. And let's not forget, before all that, Ice Cube was already shaping the culture. He was ghostwriting for Eazy-E, Dr. Dre, and MC Ren, creating the entire NWA catalog while still barely out of high school. Cube was building classics before most rappers even touched a mic. Meanwhile, Aries Spears' biggest cultural footprint, some funny Mad TV impersonations, a couple decent stand-up bits, and now dissing Ice Cube on podcasts just to go viral for all the wrong reasons. That's why fans instantly sided with Cube. It wasn't even a debate. And here's the final twist that sent everyone talking. When Ice Cube posted a teaser cast list for the long-awaited Final Friday movie, guess whose name was nowhere to be found? Yep, Aries Spears. Maybe he was never being considered anyway. But the timing, it had fans convinced Cube was sending a message loud and clear. you're not welcome here. No matter how many impressions Aries can pull off, he's never getting cast where it really counts. He wanted to go viral, and he sure did, but not for the jokes. Now he's trending because two legends called him a nobody. And the wildest part, nobody disagreed. So if you're loving these deep dives into the real drama of the culture, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay tapped in. You never know what story's coming next straight from our hood. So stick around and see what's really popping next.